And we should have on the line with us Don Preston.
Hey, Don. There you go. Radio C. Hello.
Hi, Don.
Hi.
How the hell are you?
Good.
Where you guys calling from? Sounds like you guys are on a cell phone.
I think, yeah, we're somewhere in Connecticut. We're going to, I don't know, somewhere else.
I do believe you guys will be over at the Met Cafe tonight over in Providence.
You're right, yeah.
And Friday night you guys will be playing downstairs at the Middle East here in Boston in Cambridge.
Uh-huh.
Just wondering, first off, for those who don't know, Project Object is a Zappa tribute band that carries on the music and legacy of the great Frank Zappa. And I believe Ike once told me that Frank told him before he passed away that to go out there and play his music and make sure that his music is kept alive. So I really see Project Object as kind of being the bearers of the torch, so to speak. Just wondering, Don, how you got involved with the operation. I know you played with them over at the. Was it New Year's a couple years ago at the Lion's Den in New York with Bunk?
Well, the Grandmothers opened for Project Object there. We didn't really play. I mean, I sat in with them, but I wasn't in the band at all.
Mm-hmm. How did you get involved with coming on this most recent tour?
Well, it was complicated, but the keyboard player that usually plays with the band had some other obligations and couldn't do the tour. And Andre just thought of me because I was going to be available. I was over in Germany at the time, and Andre said, could I do it? And I managed to do it. I mean, we've been friends for a long time, and I guess I was the obvious choice to call. So here I am.
Were you?
It's been lots of fun. The whole tour has been tremendous.
That was like I say. Where do you live in Germany now?
No, I live in Los Angeles. But,
okay.
The Grandmothers were over in Germany doing playing a concert with a string orchestra, and it was recorded by Warner Brothers, and that's coming out in May.
Wow! So it was who's in the band this time around? Is Roy still with you guys?
Yeah, Roy and Napoleon and Bunk Gardner and myself.
What about Jim?
Well, Jimmy is kind of semi-retired, and he didn't feel like he wanted to make that gig.
Mm-hmm. Do you have on drums the guy you had I think in 2000, Steve B. Roney?
No. We have a Los Angeles-based drummer, Chris Garcia. You wouldn't know us probably, but he's been associated with Mother's music for quite a while, and as is our guitar player.
Who's is it Mike? I forget his last name, or is it Sandro Oliva? This when you played in Germany?
No, once again he lives in Los Angeles. His name is Ken Rosser.
Okay, yeah, I remember him from I think the tour last year.
Yeah, right. He went out with us.
Are there any plans to bring the Grandmothers back home to the States?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, we're doing a tour over in Europe in November, and I think early spring we could do a tour on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
How has the reception been from the European Zappa freaks?
Fantastic. We drew about 1,500 people, and the concert was incredible.
Were you playing theaters or outdoor venues or?
No, this was a festival. Just one concert that we played, and it was with this orchestra, so we were only scheduled to do that one job.
Mm-hmm. Who else was who else was on the bill? Just you and the orchestra?
Oh God, there were all kinds of people. The On Trio, which most of the other people performing were all classical musicians. The theme of the festival was crossover music,
Mm-hmm.
and so they were all classical musicians, not playing Zappa music, but all kinds of contemporary music.
Contemporary, sort of more along the avant-garde style than sort of the straight-ahead classical, would you say?
No, more of like this On Trio. They're three Korean girls, and they play music from The Doors and Non-Caro, and like different composers like that. Steve Reich.
Mm-hmm.
But it's violin, cello, and piano. The instrumentation of all the other groups were pretty much classical oriented.
Okay, fair enough. So is this your 70th year on this planet there, Don?
Yep.
And how does it feel?
Well, I feel good. I mean, I've kind of take care of myself and try to stay healthy, and so it's been a bit of a struggle, but it's been a struggle for everybody in the band. So I don't feel.
You don't feel what? I'm sorry, Don.
I don't feel like I'm any more tired than anybody else.
Sure. How do you feel about? I know it's been strange for me. I play in a band around here. When the war started, it seemed obviously everybody who I had the realization that everybody who played music in the '60s were playing during a nasty war going on. But how does it feel to be playing music in during wartime, as they say?
Well, I think it's a relief. It takes people's mind off of what's going on. Unfortunately, what's going on is very scary. Not so much the war, but what's happening right here in our own country. That little by little, our rights are being taken away, and freedom of speech, everything. Anybody that has any dissident views at all are like being visited by the FBI or some other faction of the government.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very scary from that point of view. And the whole regime it looks very, very similar to the way Hitler started his regime. So that all that kind of thing is very scary to me.
I hear you. I almost see music as a way. There seems to be a lot of darkness out here in the in the world and in the country. I almost see music as sort of the a light that can shine for at least a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Music is always like a voice of truth, in amidst all the other stuff going on.
How did you get involved with the? I guess this is not the first time that you had played with Napoleon. How did you get involved with playing Napoleon in the? Were you on the just the Roxy shows or that part of the '74 tour?
Well, yeah, when in 1974, Zappa wanted to do a anniversary tour, and he added a couple other musicians to the band, myself and Walt Fowler, and we did this tour around the United States, primarily in Chicago on Halloween night, and so Napoleon was in the band at the time, and that's how we met and became friends, and now the Grandmothers, we saw an opportunity to get Napoleon in the band, and we approached him, and he was all for it. So the band is quite a bit different than Project Object, even though we're playing some similar songs.
Mm-hmm.
We just have a different approach on how to play them.
Which band? The Grandmothers?
Yeah, the Grandmothers.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's refreshing to me. I mean, it's refreshing to be doing music with Project Object, and then when I go to the Grandmothers, which, you know, I'll be probably rehearsing with them in a few weeks, that's just completely different. So we enjoy that.
You any word on Ian Underwood, on his whereabouts?
Ian kind of moved up north to, I'm not sure where, somewhere in Oregon, and as far as I know, he's like semi-retired from the business. I'm not sure if he mostly after the Mothers, he got into studio work and did quite well with studio work.
Yeah, I know
he hasn't recorded. It hasn't been in any groups, and he may have done one or two albums with somebody, but they weren't like available publicly, or they didn't. At least they didn't grab anyone to notice. So I don't know what he's doing now.
Mm-hmm. What about was Ruth his wife?
Ruth, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
She was his wife for a period of time. She is living in the Valley in Los Angeles, and has two beautiful children. She's kind of retired from music also because I don't know, a lot of percussionists got together and they were saying, well, who was the best percussionist of all, in their world?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody agreed it was Ruth.
Sure.
And she says, well, I don't want to ruin my reputation by going out there anymore. Well, she always was kind of shy and didn't like performing too much.
Mm-hmm. So you still keep in touch with her out in L.A.?
Yeah, and she devotes all of her time to her children, and that's really that's good too,
Sure. Have you asked just one final question here? Have you asked any other former Mothers members to participate in the Grandmothers experience for sort of the latest incarnation?
We asked Ray Collins one time before, several years ago, and he still won't have anything to do with Zappa's music. He won't touch it. So it was impossible to get him to be, in the band.
Mm-hmm.
I approached Ruth, of course. Why wouldn't I?
Of course.
But she doesn't want to perform anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. That's all I can think of as far as people that I've contacted.
What about what about Motorhead?
Well, the thing about Motorhead is that he never was a musician. Mm-hmm. He was kind of the band roadie for a while, and somebody taught him how to hold a saxophone and blow into it. But he never. He was a character for sure.
Sure.
And he did a lot of things, that were humorous and everything. But as far as being a musician, and nowadays you got to keep your band scaled down pretty far to even be able to do it.
I hear you.
Financially.
Mm-hmm.
So he wouldn't be a choice for me because of the fact that he really can't play an instrument.
Because of his limited musical skills?
Well, he can make noises on an instrument, but he can't play, like any kind of a melody or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a great guy. I love Motorhead.
Any solo projects in the works for you, Don?
Well, yeah, I've just been commissioned to write a large work for the Brandenburg Symphony Orchestra, so I'm going to be starting on that as soon as I get home, and work on that until that's done. And that's supposed to be performed in November.
Any other projects? Or that's sort of it's going to be your main focus for a while?
Working on the Grandmothers. I have a concert in May that I'm going to do. It's just my own band. Some guys in L.A. that I've been working with for a while. But that's about all. I mean, I'm trying to keep it down because of this orchestral piece that I have to write.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to take a lot of time and energy.
Sure.
And focus.
I hear you. All right. Well, thanks for talking with us. I do want to remind the folks that Project Object will be in town tonight over at Lupo's Met Cafe in Providence, and Friday night downstairs at the Middle East. And always a great time. I always love seeing you and Project Object, and we look forward to possibly see you guys tonight over at the Met Cafe at in Providence.
Terrific, man.
All right. Well, thanks for talking with us, Don. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
All right. Take care.